Welcome to music lesson number 6.
Black socks, they never get dirty. The longer you wear them, the stronger they get. Sometimes I think I should wash them, but something inside me keeps saying not yet.
Not yet, 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 not yet.
Black socks, they never get dirty. The longer you wear them, the stronger they get. Sometimes I think I should wash them, but something inside me keeps saying not yet.
Not yet,
You
not yet, not
gross.
yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not
What is that smell?
yet,
You
not yet, not
gross.
yet, not yet,
Ew.
not yet, not yet.
What is that smell?
Not yet,
Black socks, they never get dirty. The longer you wear them, the stronger they get. Sometimes I think I should wash them, but something inside me keeps saying not yet. Can't find, they kinda stink. Can't find, they kinda stink.
not yet,
Black socks, they never get dirty. The longer you wear them, the stronger they get. Sometimes I think I should wash them, but something inside me keeps saying not yet.
Hopefully some of you remember a couple of lessons ago, my family and I recorded some quarantine rhythms and shared with you some of our silliness. Lock, down, quarantine, and then I messed up on social distancing. Well, William and his family sent in a delightful video of them doing their version of a quarantine rhythm. I'm going to share it with you now.
River Tree School at home. Bake. River Tree School at home. Bake. River Tree School at home. River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School
Mr.
at home.
Nelson.
River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School
Mr.
at home.
Nelson.
River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School
Mr.
at home.
Nelson.
River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School
Mr.
at home.
Nelson.
River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School at
Mr.
home.
Nelson.
River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School
Mr.
at home.
Nelson.
River
Breakfast
Tree
with
School
Mr.
at home.
Nelson.
In this lesson, we're going to review some of the things that you've already learned: scales, major and minor, as well as tonal patterns. Then we're going to move on to some slightly more complicated patterns. As lessons go on, these will get more and more complex. In the next lesson, we'll introduce you to rhythm patterns, and then we'll start putting everything together, and before you know it, you'll be reading music. We'll start with the major scale, which hopefully you're getting pretty used to by now. Here is Do. Do. 1, 2, ready, go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Great! Let's also review the steps that make up our major scale. Remember that we had whole steps and half steps. There's a whole step between Do and Re, between Re and Mi, then a half step between Mi and Fa, whole steps between Fa and So and La and Ti, and then a half step between Ti and Do. Next, remember how we shifted everything down to make a minor scale. When we sing in minor, we go from La to La. The whole steps and half steps, however, stay between the same solfege names. So half steps are still between Mi and Fa and Ti and Do, and whole steps are everywhere else. Let's sing through that minor scale. Here is La, La. 1, 2, ready, go. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. If you remember from lesson 2, we did a little game, playing sounds and you choosing whether they were major or minor. Let's do that one more time to review those sound types. Listen to these short audio clips and decide if what you hear is major or minor. Did you guess that that was minor? That's correct. Yes, that was a major sound. That was a major scale. If you thought that was a major sound, you got it right. That was definitely a minor sound. That was a minor scale. Awesome! You are doing great! The last thing that we're going to do in this lesson is tonal patterns. Some of these you've done before, and some of these will be new. As always, I'll go first with the red circles, and then you follow, singing along to the blue circles. Do, re, mi, do, re, mi, re, do, mi, re, do, do, re, do, do, re, do, do, mi, do, do, mi, do, do, re, mi, fa, do, re, mi, fa, fa, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, do, fa, do, do, fa, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, fa, mi, re, do, sol, fa, mi, re, do, do, so, do, do, so, do. You did such a good job on that lesson.
Okay, it's time to spell some words on the staff. Take a look at this. Remember the spaces, spell F-A-C-E. The lines, spell every good boy does fine, or whatever other mnemonic you want to use. If you said the first note was F, oops, you are correct. Take a look at the other ones. The other notes. If you said, whoa, sorry, fed, you are correct. Got a word here, 3 notes, a 3-letter word. I'll give you a minute. Remember the mnemonics we used for lines and spaces. The first note there is a B. Give you a moment. That word is beg. Let's take a look at this one. 3 notes. Now, this one, we haven't really talked about that space. So we're kind of in trouble there. But I'll tell you what it is. Some of you are going to know. But remember the lines. Every good boy does fine. If you said B, you are correct. How about that next note? And the last note is probably a bonus note. Bad. 4-letter word here. 4 notes. Remember the mnemonics for the lines and the spaces. The first note, take a look at. First note, if you said B, you are correct. I'll give you a minute to think about what the rest of the notes are. If you said beef, you are correct. When we think about music, we think about it as one thing, right? Music, let's listen to some music. Let's listen to this song. Let's go to the orchestra and listen to the orchestra play. Music. So music is one thing, but it has different parts to it, right? Like an egg is an egg, but it has different parts to it. Let's think about a meal for a minute. A meal, like lunch. It's time for lunch. Let's have lunch. But really, you have different parts of the lunch. You have your main meal. I've tried to draw a little pasta dish there. And then you have some vegetables. So you can have some carrots. That's another part. You might have some slices of apple afterwards. You might even get to have dessert if your mom is really nice to you. So all of those different parts make up what we think of as lunch or dinner. Different parts to it. Music is much the same way. Music is one thing, but there are many parts to it. We can look at it kind of at the same way. So music is a whole thing, but it's got parts to it. You've got rhythm, you've got melody, harmony, which we don't do much of in our classes, and we've got expressive elements. So rhythm would be like the quarantine rhythm. Lock, down, sheltering in place, quarantine. Rhythm, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Melody would be more like do, mi, so. It's the songs we sing, it's the melody that we sing, right? Once in a while we've put some harmony with it. When we sing in a round, it sounds like harmony. Today we're going to talk a little bit about expressiveness in music, which we don't talk about a lot, but there's a good lesson that I want you to take a look at.
A simple line, rising by skips, falls low and rests before a gentle pulse. Setting the stage for a conversation to begin. First, in the oboe. A clarinet answers. Next, a basset horn, like a clarinet, but with a slightly darker and lower sound. Three voices passing around the melody over that pulsing wave of sound. So simple, yet so beautiful. A composer named Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart wrote this music. Composing and performing music are wonderful ways to express yourself. What do you think Mozart was trying to express when he wrote this?
I think they're trying to make people happy and they're self-happy.
Sorrow and sadness.
Kind of reminds me of like a river and like finding the peace.
It's very gentle and
Kind of like a seasonal feel.
Sometimes music makes you feel a certain way. Emotions bubble to the surface by simply listening. How does this music make you feel?
Happy!
Between happy and sad, like something is so happy that you start to cry a little bit.
Mozart expressed many things through music. One of the ways he does it in this piece is by letting the instruments have a conversation. Each instrument passes the melody to the other, letting us hear how they're alike, how they're different, and sometimes how they sound together. What do you want to express through music?
You want to give them the sensation of like, this is what I feel and I want you to feel it.
I'll like play low and loud or high and soft, try and like express different like extremes.
I don't write music, but when I play or listen to music, I usually get pretty dramatic, yeah.
Music can make us feel a lot of different emotions and bring wonderful ideas and images into our minds. As the music by Mozart comes to a close, remember that and pay attention to the next time you hear music and see where your imagination takes you.